Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On a Heater Podcast featuring myself, Dashing. And if you're watching on YouTube, you may notice my new setup, as well as my good friend Kiwi's. As always, we're two idiots blundering on about sports. Hello, Kiwi. How's it going today?
It's going well. Hey, y'all. Hope everyone's doing well. As you also might have noticed if you're watching on YouTube, it's almost hockey season, baby. So we're rocking our Blues and Bruins jerseys. I got the Binner jersey on. He's got the Pasta Man on.
Winter Classic.
Ooh, a true throwback, which I am very excited to see my Blues play in person in the Winter Classic this year, and maybe pick up a Winter Classic jersey for myself as well.
You need to. Absolutely.
I know, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. The hockey season's finally here. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, not to give too much of a teaser a little bit away, but my sports bet this week on DraftKings, everybody, DraftKings, is I'm putting up a little hockey bet. So look forward.
And I also have one going for this week as well. So
the NHL Global Series starts tomorrow, I think, right? So
tomorrow and Saturday. Yep.
So yeah, get ready for that a little bit ahead of time because we're not even at hockey yet.
Not even close.
We're actually starting off with baseball today. Surprise, surprise. Even less of a surprise, I think, even that we're starting with the Chicago White Sox Kiwi.
Yeah. So the other day they did in fact secure that 121st loss to be the worst team in history, and I think they finished at 122 losses, if I'm correct. I believe they were 40 and 122.
I believe that they finished 41 and 121 was what their final record was.
Okay. So
they secured that 121st loss that, locked them in as the worst professional major league, whatever you want to call them, baseball club since the 1900s. The 1899 Spiders, as we previously mentioned, still holds the most losses, the worst team in existence, but I think this comes in at a close second.
Yeah, I mean, and this is modern era anyways, so that's really
Yeah.
Honestly, when are we, I'm already going to get on a tangent already.
Yeah.
When are we as sports fans, not necessarily just the MLB, but as sports fans, going to move away from this old era modern age stat tracking crap and just keep it as just modern age, and that's all we care about anymore? I don't care about who hit their first home run in 1847 with a piece of wood that they ripped off of a cypress tree and hit a little ping pong sized thing they called a baseball 20 feet. Okay, I don't care.
No kidding.
I want to know the last. I want to know since the modern age of baseball started, World Series, all that jazz, whenever all that started, and is basically what today is. I want to know. I want stats to start there from now on. Every sport.
Okay. So you thinking like
tangent.
Maybe like starting like the 40s or the 50s instead of like having stats go back all the way to like early 1900s?
Yeah, so just whenever the common era of the current sport started,
I think it really started to ramp up to what we have today around the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Whenever the start of what we currently have is the closest.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like for hockey, that'd be like what, the 40s?
Something like
basically.
That. Yeah.
Football, it would be like football's pretty old. Honestly, football hasn't changed a ton.
No,
it's gotten a lot flashier, but
it does, yeah.
The base game has not changed that much. We've just been adding DLC expansions.
Ain't that
and basketball? Well, I mean, basketball's pretty much been the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just a different era of like players now for basketball. That's really the only. Yeah, that's really the only difference. It's not, the sport hasn't changed that much. So
yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I mean, it's. I think stat keeping from like the 1900s, like early 1900s, it's kind of just like, yeah, it's cool historically, but is it? Do we need to? Do we really need to?
Just toss it in the Hall of Fame and move on to the new age.
Yeah. I completely agree. But you know who else is moving on? Buster Posey, president of baseball operations San Francisco.
I love Buster Posey, so I'm excited about this.
Honestly,
I don't like the Giants, but I like Buster Posey.
I love Buster. I hate the Giants, and I think that's great. Another president of baseball operations, which is crazy that it happened like twice in a
It
week.
was the same day, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Chaim Bloom, you remember him in Boston, succeeding
Mazalak.
Mazalak. I would never have gotten that.
Yeah.
In St. Louis in 25. Good luck, St. Louis. Time to go into the shitter.
More than they already are?
I mean, you saw what Bloom did to Boston. He set us up to where we are now.
Well, yeah, but I've also seen Mozeliak completely dismantle this team.
That's they bring Bloom in to now trade away all your assets to start to
so they got all the
perpetuate.
players. They got rid of all the young players. Now they have the seniors club.
Yeah.
And now they're going to get rid of all their draft picks
Mhm.
and all their prospects.
Yeah.
And so they'll be left with the seniors and the seniors.
Yeah. So get ready, St. Louis. You're gonna suck for the foreseeable future. Welcome to the
Welcome to Chicago Cubs 100 years without a World Series.
Yep.
Welcome.
It's great to have you. Great to have you. It's good. It's lovely to be here. I don't like the hiring. I don't like Chaim Bloom. I think that he should just stay to middle management. There's no reason that this guy should be in the positions that he gets in. He literally proved it when he was in Florida. He proved it in Boston. And, now he's just going to prove it again in St. Louis that he's just not the guy. He's just not.
Yeah.
Buster Posey, he's the guy.
Buster Posey is the guy. Yes. And if he's not, well, I mean, like, who would have seen that coming?
Yeah. Isn't that his first management job? Like upper management?
I think
so.
Upper definitely.
Yeah.
I think he was like assistant coach or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Catcher's coach, probably.
Probably. So, man, how about them Seattle Mariners?
So we have. This is funny, right? Because this is like we have the Mariners and then we have the Tigers.
It's a tale of two cities, really.
It really is, and it's the opposites. Okay, so Seattle leading their division by 10 games at one point.
Okay,
eliminated from the playoff contention. First team ever to have that flip.
That's
Detroit.
Tragic.
0.2% odds as of August 10th of making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Clinched a playoff berth.
Not
First
only
time
that,
in 10 years.
They are in the ALDS playing against the Cleveland Guardians.
Swept the Astros. No, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I can say for certain that I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it coming. I thought it would at least go game 3, if not sweep the other way around.
I mean, now that we're kind of on the topic already, I do want to say, and I know we talked about it very briefly before we started the pod, is it crazy that the wild card rounds, only one of these series is going to game 3?
It is.
It
really is.
I thought for sure that we would be sitting here today with 4 games going on today.
Yeah, it is a bit odd because Kansas City sweeps Baltimore 2-0. Not really super surprised on that one.
No.
I could have seen Baltimore maybe picking up one.
It's Baltimore.
But it is Baltimore.
It's the Orioles, Kiwi.
San Diego swept Atlanta. Kind of saw that one coming, honestly. San Diego's very good this year.
I felt really bad for Atlanta because they played hard to get into the playoffs and they played well to get into the playoffs. They kind of got that game handed to them to keep the D-bags out of this, but they were so injury-ridden.
So then slight pit stop here.
Yeah.
Is the reason the Atlanta Braves made the wild card slot solely on the shoulders of Chris Sale?
I could say yes. Cy Young winner, National League Cy Young winner, or not Cy Young, Triple Crown. Sorry.
Yeah,
I could see it. I could say yes to that.
I think.
think he
I
carried
think
them.
his win column alone,
18 wins.
you know, yeah. I mean, he was like what? He was like 18-3 or something, and 3 or something.
Yeah, it was actually it was a pretty crazy stat if I remember correctly.
Like he just had a heck of a season. I'm kind of sad we traded him away, but it was for his own best interest. We were doing right by the player.
Absolutely doing right by him. He was 18-3 this year.
Wow. I just read that like a book.
Nice. In
I
29
just pulled that out of my butt.
29 games started.
So that makes what? 8 no contests?
Just about, yeah.
So I mean that's just incredible.
His ERA was only 2.38.
And you know what? He didn't even have to rip up his jersey to get traded from us like he did the White Sox.
No. Yeah, no. He was just all right.
Could you imagine if he would have put that season up on the White Sox? They might have been a 500 team. I don't know if I'd go that far, but they would not have set the record. Hey, that's for sure.
If he was still pitching in Boston, they would have gotten into the playoffs, probably.
Oh yeah, we would have made it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think we would have went far, but we would have made it.
Hey, and you know what? Making it is all I care about because the last 3 years, bubkiss.
We're going next year. Next year, we're going next year.
Okay, keep dreaming.
If not next year, the year after that. And if we don't make it those 2 years, then I think we're going to be joining the Cardinals.
We are in a drought, but not like the Kansas City Royals, who are no longer in a drought because we were just talking about them. They just beat the Orioles in that 2-0 series. First night in 9 years. That seemed really weird to me. I didn't think that was a real stat.
Yeah, so it just didn't feel right that Kansas City hadn't been there in 9 years and that Detroit hadn't been there in 10 years. Like, that just didn't feel right.
Didn't feel real. Until, we saw it. It was like, oh,
and I think it feels even more weird for Detroit, right? Because like early 2000s, Detroit was very good.
Really good.
They were there in the playoffs like every year. I mean, they won what, 2 World Series in the early 2000s too.
If I remember
correctly.
Yeah.
It's very surprising.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Teams.
I'm not going to lie to you. The ALDS this year, if the Mets win, I'm going to say this: if the Mets win, honestly, I don't care if the Brewers win either. But if the Mets win, this is probably going to be my favorite ALDS in a long while.
Yeah,
matchup wise, Tigers, Guardians, Royals, Yankees, Padres, Dodgers, and then Phillies, Mets or Phillies, Brewers. Like,
I could care less about the Yankees Royals series, to be honest.
True.
But that's, I mean, the rest of them, I definitely have a team I would be rooting for. Well, if it's the Brewers and the Phillies, I'm kind of like,
That's why I'm like
probably root for the Brewers, but
That's why I'm like the Mets.
Yeah, right? I'm in on the Mets for that. But
well,
I mean do we just want to get into it right here, right now?
We're already talking about it.
We're already teasing it.
I think we were just both about to say like playoff predictions. So Kiwi, Tigers, Guardians.
Well, let's start off with the last game remaining for the wild card.
Well, that happens actually today. So I guess we can actually do that.
Yeah. So you guys will know before you hear this who won this game, but it's only 4:45 Eastern right now for us. So there's still like almost 4 hours before the game, 3.5 hours before the game. So series tied 1-1 Mets Brewers. Who you got?
Mets.
All right. Yeah, I want the Mets to win. Do I think the Mets are going to win? Probably not. I'd probably have the Brewers moving on. Okay. I want the Mets to win, though. I really want it for them. They deserve it.
I really do, too.
I mean, not to say that the Brewers don't deserve it, because the Brewers have just notoriously been mid. We talked about that at the beginning of this season.
We did. Yeah.
How the Brewers have just been a notoriously mid team. I mean, no World Series, anything like that. So
I just want to see him do good.
Right.
I just want to see him do good.
So I'm gonna have the Mets for the wild card. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have the Brewers for the wild card. You've got the Mets for the last spot.
Mhm.
Now, do we want to stick with the National League or do we want to continue where you were at with the American League?
No, let's keep it right there, right in that same lineup. Mets, Brewer. I'm sorry. So yeah, well, I guess it would be the Mets or Brewers or the Phillies. Who we got?
See, this is tough because if the Mets move on, I think it's the Phillies. If the Brewers move on, you know what? I'm just gonna say it's the Phillies regardless.
Okay.
I think the Phillies have this one.
See, I think that I agree with you. I think that the Phillies are a more complete team than both of these teams. This is going to be a fun series regardless of who ends up playing in
Oh
it.
yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's going to be a really, really fun series overall.
This will go 5 games,
I
probably,
absolutely
or at
agree.
least 4.
I
It'll at least go 4.
absolutely agree. I think that, both of these, all three of these teams really have a lot to offer. But I do think that the Phillies are the better team overall, the more complete team overall. They have a better lineup, a better pitching staff. I think they're going to prove it.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely the more well-rounded team. I mean,
But
they kind of always have been,
they're always strong.
The Phillies
They're
are one of
always
those
strong.
perennial winners.
No kidding. Speaking of winners, though, how about the what is this the highest salary in baseball? The Dodgers? Or do they have the highest salary in baseball? I think so.
Either them or the Yankees.
Either them or the Yankees. But Dodgers or Padres? Who you got?
I got the Padres.
Really
I am high on the Padres this year.
interesting.
I
Okay,
think this is the best Padres team that we've seen in a long time, maybe ever.
all right.
I don't see them squandering this chance.
I mean,
They're going to go deep.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to see the San Diego Padres get to the ALCS or even the freaking finals. That would be insane if they could get that far. But for the sake of my World Series pick, I have to take the Dodgers because I did pick them a few weeks ago, almost a month ago at this point, and I want to stick with that. I want to see Shohei Ohtani, finish off the season strong. I've been hearing mumblings that we could see Shohei Ohtani back on the mound in the playoffs.
It's true. He has the whole season of recovery under his belt now.
So we could see.
Do you throw him in though?
In relief.
In relief.
In
Okay,
relief,
yeah, I could
if
see it in
anything.
relief.
If anything, he's a reliever.
Maybe a game that they're up like 4-1, 4-2. It's like the 6th inning or something. You toss him in for 2 innings.
You need to maybe just to see how he's
just
doing.
to loosen his arm
him
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're up in the series 2-1 or something.
Nothing crazy.
It's a game you can kind of toss out.
Yeah. Nothing crazy, nothing insane. You don't want to put him into a stressful spot. You don't want to push him into a spot that's like, Ohtani, you need to go out here and do something. It's got to be. It's got to be
go
like
there and air it out.
La 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 type of thing,
Yeah, just let him go out and air it out a little bit. See how he feels.
Exactly. So now we can move to the American League. Tigers and Guardians. I know that before we started the pod, you were talking about the Tigers, how high you were on the Tigers. And I'm not going to lie to you. I also am very high on the Tigers. I'm taking them to beat the Guardians. As good as the Guardians have been this year, I just do not believe in the Cleveland Guardians. I do not believe in really any Cleveland team unless LeBron James is on it. And, that hasn't happened in a few years. So, my pick is Detroit, the Tigers.
Yeah, I think this is the toughest one.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the Tigers are doing right now is definitely special.
Absolutely.
Did I give the stat?
No, you didn't say it.
I gave the stat before we started recording.
You did.
But of this Detroit team has done only what 3 other teams have done, in that they have went from basically being down over 10 games in their division to coming back, making the wild card spot, and winning their wild card matchup with a sweep.
Insane.
which only three other teams have done, two of which are the Cardinals, one of which is the Mets. And all three were insane teams. And those three teams also have went on to win the World Series. So this is definitely something special from the Tigers coming here, and it's hard to not get behind that. However, I will say, if you're not going to get behind it, I wouldn't blame you here for picking the Guardians because they have been solid all season.
Great team.
It's very much like the Padres, but maybe a little slower pace, but also a little less volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that the Padres are crazy volatile, but it's a very sure game when it comes to the Guardians this season.
I think so.
But I'm sticking with my guts. I'm sticking with history. I'm on the Tigers.
Okay. All right. Hey, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think that the Tigers are definitely going to win this series. I could see a world where the Guardians win. I mean, I think that, I'm not writing them off as like a fake two seed because like they are the 2 seed in the AL. So I mean, they played for something in the regular season. So I think that, take that as you will, take that where you will, and we'll see what happens. But going into the series that I mean, I'm maybe a little more high on than you are, the Royals and Yankees. I'm just gonna say it right off the rip. I'm picking the Yankees in this series. I think the Royals, despite being out of the playoffs for 9 or so years, I think we just said,
Yeah.
I think that hey, they're a good wild card team, but they're not a good ALDS team. I think that they kind of all but lucked their way into the postseason here. I feel like the Twins maybe were the better option despite the records.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, the Royals, good for them. They made it in, but all right, see you later. I think the Yankees are just going to walk away with their lunch money.
Yeah, I'm also on the Yankees for this one. I think that the Royals are beat down, they're slowed down, they're injured. I think great on them for beating the O's, but this is where the road ends for you.
And I will say, they kind of feel like the Braves to me. Just kind of beat up team. Not sure how you made it this far, but comparing the Padres to the Orioles is
you can't do that. That's idiotic.
It's insane that the Padres were a wild card team, but they were in the same division as the Dodgers, so they had to be a wild card team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you.
So take that as you will. Take that as you will. Let us know in the comments or tweet at us. Let us know your playoff predictions for the ALDS if you want.
Call us idiots if you think we're stupid.
Morons if these don't align with your thoughts processes. But yeah, I mean, not bad. We're kind of in line with each other, save the Mets Brewers thought process and the Padres Dodgers. So I think it's not too bad.
Yeah, which I mean, the Mets Brewers one, realistically, if we both have them losing to the Phillies, it doesn't matter anyway. So.
Exactly. But switching gears here a little bit from baseball to football, a little bit of news out of New York. The New York Giants are finally benching Daniel Jones.
Yeah, but is it worth it? Because now you're putting in Drew Lock.
Okay, so here's the thing about Drew Lock. He had a really bad COVID year. He had 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and then he was really spotty in 21. He didn't play in 22, and then in 23 in Seattle, he was a little meh as well. And that was the Geno Smith year when Geno came out of literally nowhere. So like take that as you will about Drew Lock. He's still a young guy, he still has a lot to learn. He was a highly rated prospect, not highly rated, highly rated. He was drafted in the second round by the Denver Broncos. But I mean that's still sort of a high draft pick, for a quarterback. So take it as you will. Is he going to be something special? I'm not saying yes, but I think he's going to be better than Daniel Jones.
So let's look at it like this. So he sat behind Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is a physically talented player, but mentally talented, I think that's where he kind of lacks, and that's why he
I
hasn't
think so.
succeeded very much.
He's
I
very
feel
athletic.
like I feel like Drew Lock is very much smart, smarter than Daniel Jones,
Yeah,
probably in the sense of football.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
so if he watched Daniel Jones and his athleticism,
hmm
hopefully he can mimic that a little bit and maybe he'll grow and be a little bit better. But I
so
don't have any faith in this Giants team regardless.
let
So
let's play a little comparison from this year so far to the last time Drew Lock was the starter in Denver, the real starter in 2020. I don't really count 21 because he only played 6 games. I want to go back to 2020 where he played 13 games. He was 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, sorry, and he was sacked 19 times. His completion percentage was 57%. So far this year, Daniel Jones has played 4 games. He is 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been sacked 9 times, and his completion percentage is 63%. So Drew Lock is already right there in lock, no pun intended, on the completion percentage. It's pretty damn close. So, but this is also a team where he probably doesn't get as many rushes onto him as maybe, he did in Denver when that line was god awful. You know what I mean? I
I
think
mean,
that it might be likely that, it's due to Daniel Jones being an athletic guy, but I think Drews might have a better time in the pocket in New York than he did in Denver.
what is Daniel Jones's average throw release time? Do you know?
His average release time,
Like how long he has, how fast he gets rid of the ball?
it is he has an average of 5.8 yards. Let me see if the metric tells me on ESPN.
It might not. That's usually like a
Um
stat cast type of
yeah,
situation.
like Pro Football Focus. Let me go to
I
Pro
can't think of
Football
what they
Focus.
call that stat. It's like a quick release, but that's not. I don't think that's really what it's called.
I don't think it is. Actually, I don't know.
People are screaming at me right now.
No kidding. They're like, "Err."
It's called this. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I would like to,
I don't
but
know.
anyways, where I'm getting with this is I would
Yeah,
like to see the comparison between Daniel Jones and what Drew Locks was that season.
that season. Yeah.
Um, because if Drew Locks is faster, I think he's going to succeed on this better O line. I mean, not too much better, but is it a factor of Daniel Jones just holds on to the ball for too long? I'd like to think so. Every time I've watched him, I feel like he holds on to it for an eternity.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's mostly because he literally does. All right, I found him on this list. Does it tell me? No, it still doesn't tell me here. I'm looking on next gen stats now. Um, oh, time to throw. For Daniel Jones is
Yes.
2.8 seconds. And
Okay.
then
Does
we
it have Drew Lock
wanna
on there?
we wanna go back to 2020 with Drew Lock 2.87.
Okay.
Not bad.
Well, I guess that just defeats my whole entire. But this O line's probably going to give him more time. So is more time going to be better for him? You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Is he going to be able to see the field a little better?
He's had some time to sit, right? He's had some time to practice. I think that, he played 6 games in 21, he played 4 games in 23. He's been sitting, basically borderline sitting around and just sitting and watching. I think that he's going to be a better guy than what we'd seen previously.
And we'll tell.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. They're playing Seattle, which is going to be a tough game. I don't have them winning that game. But next week they have the Bengals and then the Eagles after that. So we'll see. We'll see if they stick with Drew Lock. I mean, maybe they'll give him a few weeks. If nothing else, then we're probably going to see Tommy DeVito after that, and we all know how Tommy
Oh
DeVito is.
Christ.
So that roster looking a little rough. Do you think that if the Giants aren't able to get their quarterbacking situation under control, do you think that they try to trade for Russell Wilson out of Pittsburgh?
No.
No?
I think that the Steelers are still trying to find a spot where they can find a reason where they can start Russell over Justin Fields for some reason.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I really do. And I don't understand why
I
they
mean,
think that.
Justin Fields is doing really well, so I mean, I could see him being the solution at least this season in Pittsburgh.
I hope for their sake that he's the
Permanent.
permanent solution.
I think so too. I mean, I'd love to see that. I think Justin is a pretty good quarterback, and I think under the right tutelage, I think that he can be really special.
I think with an O-line that's half fucking decent.
No kidding. Speaking of quarterback situations, I know that I don't know if you're punching the air or not, but Tom Brady, it was revealed that he seriously considered joining the Chicago Bears in 2020.
Honestly,
You punch in the air or no?
like it is upsetting to know that you could have had Tom Brady, right, as your
Right.
quarterback.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I think what would have happened is an Aaron Rodgers in New York situation
Probably.
where he comes in and he just doesn't have the team to support and he just flops.
I think so. I think that probably is definitely true. I mean, post looking at this, how incredibly stacked was that Tampa Bay team? That team was insanely stacked up. Like I can't even believe it, after thinking about it for so long, but really that team was so stacked and it just I feel like it speaks volumes about how bad Jameis Winston actually was.
Hey, don't talk crap about my Winston.
I like
Jameis Winston.
I like Jameis Winston, but how do you?
I think he
blow it
was
with
in the
that
wrong
team?
system for his play style.
I could see that. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Um, but I want to stay on this topic a little bit about wrong systems. Tyreek Hill, Miami committed to the Finns. Good for him. He signed that long contract with them, that lucrative contract with them. He's staying committed despite all these trade rumors of him maybe going back to Kansas City.
Yeah. Do we think he actually goes back?
I could see Kansas City making a run at them.
I mean, they're definitely going to try, right? Because what
do you got to
what
lose?
do they have to lose? Exactly.
Other than everybody in the world screaming no.
But does he realistically think, or does he realistically want to go back to Kansas City?
I don't think so. I don't think he does. I feel like Kansas City was not for lack of anything, but like it didn't seem like he was very likable in Kansas City.
It's the wrong market for him.
I think so. But in Miami, he seems to be pretty well liked. So, I mean,
so Kansas City's kind of like that blue collar environment.
Yeah.
Kind of how like St. Louis is, kind of like how Buffalo is. They have that very much that blue collar vibe to it.
Fantastic.
So I can understand why the fans wouldn't, why the fans wouldn't necessarily gel with him. Whereas when you go to Miami, it's a little more of a free flowing, entitled, hoity toity area, and he's a showman basically. I mean, he's very talented, obviously, but he also puts up kind of a show as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of the Miami vibe than the Kansas City vibe.
I can agree with you.
I think he likes it in Miami.
Another player who is not currently fitting their own market, Devontae Adams. He has proved that he cannot be happy seemingly anywhere. But he has potentially, according to some sources, played his last snap with the Oakland Raiders, about to say Las Vegas Raiders. There are a few trade destinations, the trade rumors circulating that he's going to be on the move. I'm going to give you a list of teams. Tell me which one he lands at, all right?
Okay.
New York Jets, New Orleans Saints, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, New England Patriots. Who you got?
I mean, my instinct is to say the Jets, right? But
I could see the Jets. Aaron Rodgers and Adams.
where I think he realistically is going to land, Dallas.
I think Dallas is willing to give up the most for him. I think that another option, what if Brandon Ayuk for Devonta Adams?
But didn't Ayuk want to stay now?
He did want to stay, but they just paid him a boatload of money. And I'm not going to lie to you, Adams might be an upgrade over Ayuk.
Is he really going to go to Vegas, though?
He might not go to Vegas. Does he have no trade clause? I don't know if he has a no trade clause.
How does that even work with football?
I'm not sure.
The same as hockey?
I think they have a choice. I don't know if they do that, actually, now that I'm second guessing. Somebody's in the comments screaming at me, "You're a fucking moron, Dashing!"
Yeah, no kidding. Honestly, I don't think that Vegas would love that, but I don't think that Ayuk wants to go to Vegas.
I don't think it would happen either. I don't think I know the 49ers are beat up right now, but I don't think that the 49ers are in play here. My personal thought is Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or Buffalo. I could see.
Does he actually add anything to Baltimore, though?
Adds a really good weapon for Lamar. And I'm not going to lie to you.
Lamar has no team support.
He has nothing right now. It is literally Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
I'd like to see him with Josh Allen.
In Buffalo? I do too.
I think that would be my personal preference.
I'd like that a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I really feel like it's going to be the Jets just because
I think it's going to be the Jets too.
And I think the Jets are the most desperate team in the league right now. They are hand over fist, I feel like, handing people things if they can.
But it's just going to be, so he was with Aaron in Green Bay and they did nothing together and then they split and now he's going to go to New York and do nothing with him again.
I mean, Aaron pounded his feet and got Alan Lazard. You don't think he'll pound his feet and get Devontae Adams?
And get pound his feet and then find himself benched in the second half of the season.
That'd
be a crazy storyline.
Oh my god, that'd be insane.
Aaron Rodgers benched for someone who I don't even know who their second string is.
No, I don't know. I don't actually know who the Jets' second stringer is either. Who did they play last year?
I don't know, but they're looking at Sam Darnold right now and punching the freaking air.
I mean, yes and no. Everybody loves Sam Darnold except for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor is their backup QB.
Oh my god. Kiss your season goodbye.
It's over. It's Jover. It's go Jover.
Sorry, Jets fans, but you guys still suck. Hope you're rooting for the Mets.
You are still the New York Football Jets.
Hope you're rooting for the Mets or the freaking Yankees because they got a better chance.
God damn it.
Dude, why do New York football teams suck so much? And then New York baseball teams are like pretty decent. And then the New York hockey teams are like S tier. Like, make that make sense. And then the basketball teams are kind of just like in the mid. Because like the Knicks are pretty decent.
I mean, we'll get to the Knicks a little later in this pod, but
I don't even know who the other New York. Oh, the Nets.
The Nets. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets.
Which they're Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn. I mean, they had a super team and they still couldn't win a title. So Take that to the bank. Anyway, it's time, Kiwi, for the
Should have
prime
had LeBron James.
time. It's the pre. Really?
Yeah, he would have won it. They would have won.
I mean,
You put LeBron James on any team and he wins a freaking championship. What do you mean?
well, no, you're right. You're right, but I don't think he was ever considering going to Brooklyn. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No. He wasn't. No, but I'm sure Brooklyn would have loved to have him.
Oh yeah, any team would love to have LeBron probably. Well, maybe not everybody. LeBron
Not
fits
Cleveland
in.
anymore.
No, never again. LeBron has specific teams that would take him at this time in his career. Anyway, way off topic.
We got way sidetracked.
We're not even
there.
talking about basketball. We're talking about football because it's time for the preheated prime time preview. Thursday, 8:15 p.m. tonight on Prime Video. So when you're all hearing this, it's going to be after the fact of the game, but these guesses are happening beforehand. Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Atlanta Falcons, the 3-1 Bucks versus the 2-2 Falcons in Atlanta. Who you got?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say that I'm pretty sure that Tampa Bay is plus 148 on DraftKings right now, which is wild to me.
The spread is Atlanta minus 2.5.
Interesting.
Kirk's starting to get in the flow, man.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that he's going to stop Baker, money maker. I'm on Tampa Bay tonight.
I am, for the sake of
oh my God, he's trying to catch up. He's trying to catch up.
Contradiction. No, I'm just kidding. Little known fact, unknown fact, known fact. I guess
they know. It's a known fact. They know this now. I think
it's a known fact now. Kirk Cousins is my favorite quarterback in the league right now.
Fangirl.
I am an absolute fangirl of Kirk Cousins. I have been since he was drafted. I literally said the moment the Redskins at the time drafted Kirk Cousins, he was going to be the starter in Washington over RG3. Everybody called me insane. They said I was nuts. They called me crazy. But you know what happened? Kirk Cousins. You like that? So take that to the bank because I think Kirk is amazing. I love that guy. And I love
Kirk too.
Kirk is fucking fantastic. But I think that he's gonna take it. I think that they're gonna win at home in Atlanta. Take the spread. Take the negative. Take the over. It's gonna be a high scoring game.
Yeah, it'll definitely be high scoring, but on to the next one, and all I have to say is yeah, here we go.
Dallas.
We got Dallas at Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night, NBC Peacock. Who you got?
It's gotta be. I would. Ooh. Yeah, here we go. It's the Pittsburgh fucking Steelers, baby. I think that's Justin Fields. He's got something cooking. He's got something going on. He's got something up his sleeve. He's keeping that job away from Russell Wilson. The Dallas Cowgirls have nothing this year. I don't think they're a very good football team. And you know what?
Which doesn't make any sense if you look at their on paper.
I'm pretty comfortable taking Pittsburgh minus 2.5. Taking the under on the spread 44.5. What about you, Kiwi? Who you got?
I'm on Dallas.
Ooh, taking the Cowgirls.
I think Dallas is so inconsistent that they're gonna pull this out of their ass.
Honestly, you're probably not wrong. But you want to talk about inconsistency? Man, oh man. Monday Night Football, the start of the single header, because the double header is no more due to bye weeks.
Bye weeks.
We got the New Orleans Saints at the Kansas City Chiefs Monday night, 8:15 p.m. on ESPN. Who you got?
The Saints are a weird team this year.
They are, aren't they? 2-2.
Is this a trap game for Kansas City?
Kansas City minus 5.5 on the spread. In total, 43.5 for the over/under.
This is a trap game for Kansas City. I'm going with the Saints.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. See, I think that despite the referees being wearing red this week again, and I know a lot of you Kansas City fans punch in the air going, the refs don't play for us. Yes, they do. The refs wear Kansas City colors all the time. But despite that, the New Orleans Saints are going to win this one. I think that their inconsistencies are going to shine through, and my hero, Derek Carr, is going to light him up. I think he's going to do great. Kamara, he's going to have a nice game. I think that the Saints are going to.
Are you going to bet on the 4+ touchdowns again?
Absolutely not, because I think he only got 3 that game.
He only got the 2. No, he didn't even get the third
2?
one.
He only got
2. He only got 2.
Yeah.
He never got another one after that came up.
Put down a $5 spicy little bet on that 4 touchdown game. Didn't happen. So take that as you will. So we keep doing these, Kiwi. 1 p.m. Fox, Carolina, Chicago. I think this is an easy one. Not gonna lie to you.
So this is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Everyone in sports analysis is predicting the final score and for the Bears to win, which means that in fact the Bears are going to lose because that is our curse. But I'm still going to trust my Bears, regardless of what analysis say. All right, regardless of the voodoo that analysis put on us, I'm going to trust my Bears. Caleb Williams is heating up.
He's getting real good.
He's heating up.
He's getting real good, isn't he?
He's heating up. The O-line got some sense knocked into him by the coach.
I just want to say, as well, to add this on here, sorry to cut your rant off.
Oh, you're good.
Through 4 games, Caleb Williams has 787 yards throwing, 3 touchdowns, and 4 picks. It's not bad. That's not bad.
It's really not. And all of those picks came in the first 2 games, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. So,
and the touchdowns have came in the last 2 games.
He's heating up. He's
flipped the script. And he has the rookie pass yard record for Bears now.
Yeah.
For Bears quarterbacks. So
take that as you will.
He's heating up. I'm ready for it.
I think
I'm on that Williams train.
I think it's going to be good. I'm also on the Williams train. But if it wasn't clear,
that Kool-Aid.
If it wasn't clear, I'm also taking the Bears this week. I think that they are going to stomp the Carolina Panthers. So take the money line on the Bears, even though it's probably negative. Take the under. Take the under on the bet, I think.
Andy Dalton's going to look really nice. His orange hair, when we give him black and blue bruises, make those nice Bears colors all over him.
All I'm going to say is Andy Dalton did not disappoint me last week. And to all of you haters out there, Andy Dalton looked better than Bryce Young. Did he? Did he look better than Bryce Young last week? Did he? How about that? How's he going to look this week?
But Bryce Young on a 500 team, and you got a good quarterback.
How about that? So take that to the bank, haters. Casual take. Ha! Spit on you.
Hawk Tua.
Yeah, kill me now.
Yeah, no kidding.
The other 1:00 game, also on Fox, Miami at New England. Oh my God.
Go Pats, go. Go Pats, go. Go Pats, go.
Go Pats.
Tua's still out. It's not.
I have them winning. I have them scraping this game through. Take the under 36.5. Take the under. I'm telling you now. Take the under. This is going to be a low scoring ball game, just like it was with this last week with the Titans and the Dolphins. Terrible game. The Patriots aren't going to put up that many points as the Titans did that game. So 6-9.
Are we? The real question is: are we seeing
3-6?
Are we seeing Drake May?
Are
we seeing the emergence of Drake May this game?
If the Patriots come out soft, they come out flat. If they come out flaccid, I'm going to keep making these jokes. If they come out completely limp,
If they come out like Will Levis.
if they come out with the Will Levis face, then yes, we're going to see Drake May by the end of the game. I've been hearing rumblings in my bubble of New England news that Drake May has been getting a lot of chatter from these players, a lot of chatter from these coaches. There is a lot of rumbling going on that Drake May by the end of October is going to be the starter in New England. And I think that he might be the start. I was actually thinking he was going to be the starter by this week, and I'm shocked they're sticking with Brissett. But I trust the process. I trust Gerard Mayo. I think that this team is going to get it together as soon as they fire Alex Van Pelt and get a real offensive coordinator. I feel like they are going to turn this around. We're going to get some player buy-in, and maybe they'll scrap out 7 wins like I predicted.
We shall see. I'm ready to see Drake.
I'm ready. Give me Drake May. Give me him. Give me.
I'm ready to see him.
But anyway, so switching gears a little bit again here. New segment. We're finally breaking it away here, Kiwi.
We committed.
We did it. WNBA, ladies and gentlemen, its own segment for now until the season,
until the off season,
and then we'll squash it back down into basketball as an overall overarching. But for now, women's basketball, we have it as its own section. Maybe if we are feeling spicy, the women's hockey, maybe we'll give that its own section if news starts buzzing about that. But for now, women's basketball, its own section. And we're going to start off with the Chicago Sky and the Atlanta Dream, both firing their coaches after 1 season and 3 seasons respectively. I mean, I'm not surprised. Coaching firings, coaching hirings happen all the time, and the WNBA is kind of in a sense of upheaval, so it sort of just makes sense right now. Anyway,
it's that time of year.
Yeah,
I am a little surprised that the Sky only let her coach for 1 year.
I'm very surprised too. They just drafted Angel Reese.
So, like, wouldn't you want to be with her at least more than just her rookie year?
Yeah,
to kind of get a feel for it. But then again, maybe they think they can bring in somebody better to really catapult her into the next level.
I mean, I know that the Atlanta Dream just fired their coach. Do you think that's we see a quick move for Tanisha Wright out of Atlanta?
Quite possibly. I could see it.
She just brought Atlanta to the postseason 3 seasons in a row. Chicago missed it this year. Maybe they're looking for a playoff head coach.
Or at least somebody to make them compete.
Exactly. So, I mean, we can make speculations on hirings. There's now 3 teams in the WNBA, I think, without a head coach. The Los Angeles Sparks fired their coach in September, the Chicago Sky, and now the Atlanta Dream. So, we'll see what
a lot of open positions. We'll see where those hirings go.
We'll also see where the boot drops on who gets a new position here.
Do we also know, transitioning, if the newly expansion draft team, the Golden State Valkyries, have a coach yet?
I don't actually know if they have a coach yet. Their general manager, I do know, is Ohima Nyanen. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
He probably is. So, that's a hard name.
That is a very hard name, but they do not have a coach yet that I am aware of. Also, we are aware that there are going to be 15 teams in this league, I think, by next year. So this is team 13, correct?
Yes, this is team 13. Portland's team 15. I'm not sure who team 14 is. Toronto's team 14. Okay.
Team 14.
That's a great place.
So the Golden State Valkyries are going to begin their college draft this season, for this upcoming season. They're going to have that draft on Monday the 6th. So look out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun on Monday. And then Toronto and Portland are starting in 2026. So look out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be exciting. Does Toronto have a team name yet?
Toronto,
I know Portland doesn't.
Toronto and Portland, I don't believe do. I believe they just revealed the Valkyries, which is a badass name, by the way.
That's awesome.
Awesome
Especially
name.
for Golden State Valkyries, that just like feels good.
Awesome.
It's like Vegas Golden Knights, you know? It's
Yeah.
just like it just has a good feel to it.
Yeah. I really like it.
Well, I mean, now you got the Golden State Warriors and the Golden State Valkyries too, which obviously they have a
Great.
team going on over there.
It's great.
Or a theme. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
a team.
No,
They have a theme going on over there.
I really like it. They can and they can keep that kind of gold blue style going on too.
And then the Giants can rebrand.
They won't. But anyway,
No, they're a historic team. They won't.
the rookie of the year was handed out. I don't know if you saw Caitlin Clark taking it home. Deserved or no?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we called this one a mile away.
We did too. I feel like everybody did. If Angel Reese didn't get injured, you want to play what ifs? If Angel Reese didn't get injured, would Caitlin Clark still win?
Yes.
I agree. Okay. I feel like that's pretty unanimous. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a casual take, Kiwi.
It was probably Caitlin Clark in this order. Probably Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and then oh my gosh, what's her name from San Antonio?
Oh God.
The really tall blonde girl.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name.
I couldn't tell you.
Forgive me. I can't think of her name. I was high on her, probably higher on her and Angel Reese than Angel Reese when the draft came around. But that's a tough team for her to be playing on over there.
Yeah.
I think she's also like a guard or something too, or center.
I can't remember.
So it's a little bit,
I feel like
a different position.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
It's gonna drive me crazy. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
I know she plays for.
Isn't
No, I'm sorry. She plays
LA?
for the Sparks.
LA
she
Sparks?
plays for the Sparks. Yes,
that's what I was about to say. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, San Antonio. That's an NBA team. The Spurs, Los Angeles Sparks, is the team because they oh my God.
Cameron
Brink.
Cameron Brink.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Cameron Brink.
Yep.
Yes. I would say she was probably third.
Okay.
In that running.
I could see that. That's actually not a bad pick. Yeah. No. That's actually that's probably who I'd put 1, 2, 3 as well. But as we all know, Caitlin Clark, she was just in the playoffs. They just got bounced. But the playoffs still go on, and we got another round of pick'ems. Minnesota and Connecticut series tied 1 apiece. Who you got?
Minnesota. Still.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Connecticut took the first game, but Minnesota has now taken the second game, and they're warmed up. And who am I to stop Nafisa Collier? Who am I to stop her?
Anybody stops Nafisa Collier, and I think she's just going to keep proving that as this goes on. I think it's going to be a tight series, but it ain't that tight. I think the Minnesota Lynx are gonna run away with this one pretty soon. I think they're gonna start stacking wins against the Sun.
I think they just won 3 in a row right here. They continue and just win 2 more and do the 3 in a row.
I think so. Switching gears here, New York Liberty, Las Vegas Aces. New York is up 2-0. I know that we were both pretty high on the streaking Aces, but looks like a little bit of crashing back down to earth here for Asia Wilson. A little bit,
So game 2 is very much closer in score wise. I mean, this is game 3. Obviously, that's the telltale.
Do or die.
If New York wins it, that's just it. If Vegas wins it, do we think they can keep the momentum?
Well, if New
York, let's see, they're going
wins,
to Vegas right now to play because they just had the 2 in New York.
If New York wins, series is over because it's best of 5, right? So if New York wins this, I think that good for them. I feel like New York is still not the better team here. I feel like, despite the score being 2-0, I feel like the Aces are still the better team. I think they can pull this out. 3 in a row is not going to be easy by any means necessary. But I think that if anybody can do it, the Aces can do it. I think that with that said, I'm going to have to take the liberty on this one. I think that New York is probably going to sneak one out. I think that they aren't going to win the title. So sad that my bet is going to of a three-peat is going to go to waste here. But I think that the New York Liberty, I think they're a damn good women's basketball team, and I'm going to enjoy seeing a Lynx Liberty final.
Well, let's be honest, you were going to lose it on the Kansas City Chiefs side of it anyways. So
That's true.
I am going to stick with the old saying of the series is never over until the home team loses.
Okay. That's true.
And I am on the Aces. I think they complete the reverse.
The comeback. That'd be sweet. Honestly,
I'd love it.
A game 5.
A great basketball too.
A game 5 in New York, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. I'd be down for that. Down to clown. Speaking of WNBA games, I know that we keep talking about it. We keep mentioning potentially streaming during one of these games. Just schedules haven't worked out, timing hasn't worked out. So,
and these games are like, guys, sometimes these games are like 9:30, 10:30 at night.
Yeah,
like I'm in bed.
Yeah, so it's almost sometimes a little too late for us to hop onto a stream just for it. Maybe if there's a game earlier in the day, which I don't foresee one happening anytime soon.
There's a 3:00, if necessary, Liberty Aces game on Sunday,
which we could do. We could do that.
It's very possible that we could do
if
that.
If the Bear, and we can also switch between that and the Pats Bears games.
Right, exactly.
If those are terrible, maybe we just swap to some WNBA if necessary. So that'll be fun. We can definitely look into that. We'll keep teasing it until we actually do it. But with that all wrapped up, some playoff updates and playoff guessing wrapped up, swapping over to regular men's basketball. San Antonio, speaking of San Antonio, mixing them up, Vassell out until at least November 1st, recovering from foot surgery.
Yeah, so I read this one. I think it was just like, I don't even know. He had like a muscle issue or a ligament issue or something that he had to get repaired or something. He couldn't put a lot of weight on it, but I guess it went fine. And I mean, November 1st, that's not that far out. It's less than a month. So that's pretty good recovery.
It's not bad.
It must have been something minor, moderate, nothing major.
Yeah, nothing crazy. And I mean, good for him, getting healthy. So that's nice.
All right. We also saw what might be the trade of the summer. I'm not going to say of the last 2 summers because we all know what happened last summer, but the trade of the summer.
Absolutely, the trade of the summer. This shocked me.
The Minnesota Timberwolves sent Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo. Did I say that right?
I think it's
DiVincenzo.
Whatever. I don't know.
I'm sorry for not saying your name, but that's a hard read.
I think he's Italian.
Kaida Bates Diop, and a 2025 top 13 protected first round pick that they received from Detroit via a trade with them. I don't know anything about these players. Give me the deets.
So, Julius Randle is a beast. He's been a beast for the Knicks for the last 5 or so seasons. He was with the Pelicans before that and the Lakers before that. When he was with the Lakers, his draft stock was actually not as good as it could have been. He was really spotty with the Lakers. Not the greatest player, but with the Knicks these last few years, oh boy, was this guy the guy, it felt like, in New York. Dante, on the other hand, um, part of the, not the Villanova Knicks that everybody was hoping for, but kind of a little bit of a journeyman. Played with Milwaukee, played with Sacramento, played with Golden State. Was around for a little while, had some middling stats. He's a pretty decent shooting guard. And then the last one, small forward, Keita Bates Diop. Another little bit of a journeyman with Minnesota, Denver, San Antonio, Phoenix, Brooklyn, signing with the Knicks, and then getting traded to the Timberwolves before he's even played a game with them. Bit of a bench warmer, but a pretty good depth guy. So, I mean, really the big names here are Dante and Julius. Julius is the massive name coming from the Knicks, but to give up a first round pick with it and all of those other names for Karl Anthony Towns. Oh my god. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to tell you that Cat is not worth it, because this man, round 1, pick 1, is worth the hype. He is the hype. He is the guy. Karl Anthony Towns is so damn good. He is going to elevate the Knicks to the next level. The Villanova Knicks, rip the Villanova Knicks, are going to take that next step. They're going to be a threat next year in the NBA Kiwi. And I don't think anybody's ready for the Karl Anthony Towns Knicks.
I know I'm not. Because I don't even know what's going on.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. I'm going to lose my fucking mind, because now my Boston Celtics need to compete with the Karl Anthony Towns Knicks. Not saying that they can't, because Tatum and Brown are chef's kiss right now, and I think that they're going to be fire this season. But this isn't about the Boston Celtics. This is about the Knicks and the Timberwolves. And I think both teams, despite how lopsided this trade might look, I think they both made out pretty well.
Well, at least you don't have to compete with the Lakers, so.
True. It's true.
This is your Lakers now. Welcome to hell.
No, the Celtics are the Lakers.
No. This is your God, I wish Golden State Warriors of the past. Not current. This is your OKC Thunder.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Keep trying.
I knew I'd hit one eventually.
You were pretty close on that one, I'd say. Yeah, not bad. Not a bad comp, I suppose. Somebody will be screaming in somewhere in the world.
You forgot about my team, the San Antonio Spurs of 30 years ago.
No kidding.
You forgot about the legendary 80s Pistons.
No kidding.
I don't even know. I'm just making up numbers and throwing team names in.
Yeah, that's fun. But speaking about one time, we were just talking about the Celtics. He used to play for the Celtics. Actually, I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Gordon Hayward.
I don't even know who this is.
Long time.
Oh my God, the Jazz! I should have said the Jazz.
Utah Jazz. I was just about to say.
I should have said the Jazz.
Yeah, long time legend, really, in the Jazz organization. Went to the Celtics, then a bit of a journeyman after that. Kind of lost his muster after he hurt his knees. But Gordon Hayward finally hanging up the bootstraps. Great career. Honestly, I don't have much to say. Not a Hall of Fame guy. Just throwing it out there. Jazz Hall of Fame, certainly. Not a NBA Hall of Fame, though.
So, I don't know much about him, so I'm not going to give a ton of comments and make myself look like a bigger idiot than I already am.
Mm-hmm.
But side note, who is CHO? Is that Charlotte or Chicago?
CHO?
Yeah.
I think that's Charlotte. CHI is Chicago.
That's what I thought.
Charlotte is, yes.
But why would Charlotte be CHO when they should be CHA? I don't know. Anyways, that was kind of off topic, but
I have no idea. I
I
can't.
saw that. I'm like, I don't even know who this team is. Oh, it is Charlotte. I'm like, I don't even know who this team is.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
Anyways,
Charlotte
whatever.
Hornets.
I have a super sidetrack to this episode, apparently.
Yeah, that's fine.
The final little bit of basketball news we have today, I'm not going to end this on a sad note, but this is going to be a sad note here because I do have a little bit. I have a comment to make that was not on the schedule.
Okay.
But basketball legend Mutombo passes at 58 after his battle with brain cancer.
My God. It's so
That's
sad.
a tough hit. That's a tough
so
hit for the
sad.
NBA community.
58, bro.
And I mean, even if you don't recognize the name, everyone knew Mutombo.
Mm-hmm.
Solely for the no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
You know, not in my house. So
not in my house.
Right, exactly. Everybody, even if you're not a basketball fan, knew that.
Yeah.
So this is a huge loss.
Big loss for everybody.
Definitely, heart goes out to his family, his past teammates, anyone who was close to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough one, and I think I can speak for both of us when I say fuck cancer.
Absolutely.
It sucks, man. But to not end on too heavy of a note, did you see? Going back to the Lakers and LeBron.
Yeah.
Did you see that LeBron in a press conference or an interview or something said that his wife, who normally does not play video games, care about video games, anything like that, has recently picked up the controller and is playing the newest 2K game.
Okay.
In sandbox, basically like free practice.
Yeah.
So that she can play as Bronny. How cool is that?
I mean,
she loves playing as Bronny.
That's just fun. That's just fun little news.
I know, that's a fun little thing. I wanted to bring that in, you know, kind of lighten the mood a little bit. I thought that was really fun. I'm like, wow, you know, somebody who never probably would have ever touched a video game, but her son goes into basketball, so she starts playing a little 2K on free play in her spare time.
Nice. I mean, I want to play 2K so bad, but if it wasn't so goddamn expensive.
Yeah. Like we just bought NHL 25. I don't really want to dish out another $70 for 2K.
No kidding. Not right now. I'll wait until it goes on holiday sale.
Until it goes on sale, yeah. Once we get about halfway through the season.
Speaking of NHL, Kiwi,
it's time.
Want to jump into this.
The meat and the potatoes of
today. Little slew of injuries going on. Gibson, Doughty, Laine, the big ones.
So that's the big ones.
Gibson is a little
whole string.
Gibson is a little bit of a different story. He had appendix surgery, out 6 to 8 weeks. Doughty month to month after ankle surgery, and Laine out 2 to 3 months with an ankle sprain.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of skip over Gibson here because that's kind of just one of those things that just happens to random people. You know, it happened to me, so I'm right there with you, Gibson. I don't have mine either.
Could happen to anybody, yeah.
But so let's go into Doughty a little bit. Did you see the clip?
I did. Yeah. That was yikes.
Yeah. As soon as he started going down, I knew it wasn't good.
I was cringing. I was like
I bet whoever was right there next to him, I can't remember who it was. I think they were playing the Golden Knights.
I can't remember, yeah.
Whoever was right there next to him, I bet they heard it.
Probably.
But
it's pretty brutal.
Being month to month makes me think it was a clean break.
Clean break is better than a half break or even like
cut. They were worried because of the angle that he went down. They were worried there was going to be muscular or ligament damage as well. And he lucked out and he didn't have any of that. It was just the bone break.
Yeah. Probably lucked out a little bit.
Yeah, which, I mean, with how ugly that fall was, he definitely got lucky. Somebody else who got lucky,
Laine.
Patrick Laine, Did you see that clip?
That one was just what are they doing?
So, from what I understand is, and this has been, I've heard a couple people who have broken it down frame by frame.
Yeah.
Hooray did not extend his knee. He did not move his knee. It was very much Line skated into him,
Yeah.
and their knees just
Bang.
bam right into each other.
Right.
This is, first of all, horrible for Line, somebody who was
Terrible.
probably
Terrible.
going to have a breakout season, finally get back into the swing of it. Is now delayed 2 to 3 months. Hopefully he's fine. We're glad that it's just a sprain, because if it would have been anything else, he probably would have been out the majority, if not all of the season. And that would have been terrible for the Canadians and for my prediction of them beating the Senators
Yeah.
in standings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad for Patrick Laine.
Oof.
I feel
I'm
so
right
bad
there
for
with you.
Doughty too.
So this is actually going to lead into my on heater hot take of the week, a little bit, because we're talking about injuries happening in the NHL preseason. Now, I am a big fan of short preseasons, as a lot of people probably are, and some people might think that this is a casual take. Kiwi, this is a casual take. The
It is.
preseason, blah 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 blah. It ultimately it is a casual take. The preseason, I think personally, is unimportant. I do not think we need a preseason. I think the preseason is for the owners and the businesses that lord over these teams more than anybody else. This is for not the players. This is for not the teams themselves. You can judge a new player. You can judge your team lineups just based on practice and like training camps and such. You don't need to go into these hard on games. You do not need to get full on games. Maybe I can accept like, one or two ramp up games, but you can just throw jerseys on guys and say like, "Hey, get out there but no contact." Like don't don't hit each other. Make it like almost like a junior league game where there's no real physicalness to the game and you're just kind of like technical stuff against other teams. They can protect these guys and they just don't. They say get out there, play your hardest because you're playing for your line, when we all know that's not the case. They already know who their lines are going to be. They're testing out some younger guys, yes, but you can tell that in training camp pretty well. So I think that preseason in the NHL, it's too much. The preseason in the NBA, it's too much. Preseason in baseball, way too much. Preseason in the NFL, it's getting better. They're doing the right thing. They're subtracting. They're getting rid of. Yes, they're adding games to the regular season to compensate, being that they have the shortest regular season in any sport, any of the four major sports, but the preseason as itself is not completely necessary. I do not think it is completely necessary. I think that, it is a waste of players' time because it doesn't mean anything at all. And if you're going to get injured in a meaningful game. Line Doughty being out for months, that is going to hurt the Kings. It is going to hurt the Maple Leafs. Or I'm sorry, the Montreal Canadiens. And it is going to it is
You
going
didn't
to
accidentally say that. You said that on purpose.
it is going to absolutely hurt both of those teams because now they're without some top line guys. And what did they lose them for? Nothing.
Yeah, so I'm very much a similar thought process. I vary a little bit. I don't think that I think that the only league that the preseason is basically at all necessary in is the NHL, but I think it does need to be toned back to a degree. It's hard. The minors for the NHL versus the pros is a very different atmosphere compared to baseball, compared to, well, I don't even know if basketball has minors. Don't they just cut them?
No, they have the G League. Or
Okay.
I'm sorry, they call it the D League now, the developmental league.
Compared to basketball,
Yeah.
compared to football,
They have the
which is
training,
really just the practice squad.
practice squad, yeah.
Which, I mean, that's just that basically that why does the NFL even have preseason games if you have practice squads that you can literally just do a preseason game with?
Yeah.
But I do think it's necessary in the NHL, but not to the capacity that it is right now.
It's too many games.
I brought this up with you yesterday, I think. But I did hear someone put out an idea that maybe the first 2 or 3 games is very much the up and comers, throwing them out there, seeing how they mesh, seeing how they play, how they perform at a higher level in front of fans at the stadium, at the arenas, really see how they go. And then once you've picked those people, that you're deciding to move up, you take them, you throw them in with the pros for another 2 or 3 games, see how that goes. You make the rest of your adjustments. That's it. Because the problem really entails in the NHL is when you're mixing those newcomers who don't really understand yet the code of the NHL, how it works, with the pros who do understand. So a perfect example here is probably this Line A injury.
So tell me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but tell me why you can't do that, but make it, like 3 to 5 games, kind of like you were mentioning to me yesterday, and make them no contact, no full contact games.
I think at that point it just becomes like a practice.
But
with 2 teams.
I mean, that's kind of what they need, though. They don't need anything like super hard. We don't need to see guys getting laid out to know how somebody's going to play.
Well, see, the thing is that basically already exists too, because most teams have like their practice camp where they bring in just to show the skills of the new kids and whatever. I mean, maybe you can do it there.
You get the same thing. You get the lights, the fans, you get everything, the fanfare, the show. But you minimize risk by saying, guys, no contact. Do not hit each other. You can poke check. You can do all other sorts of things. You can tie up with somebody. Just don't barrel into them into the boards.
Are you gonna buy a ticket to go watch that?
I'd do it. Yeah.
Wouldn't.
Oh, I mean,
sounds boring if I'm being honest.
I'd do it. It's just like watching a junior league game, and plus, it's the preseason. It doesn't matter.
True.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter for the fans or the people involved, other than you're getting yourself engaged into the atmosphere of the NHL season again. That's the only part that really
That's it.
That's the only thing it really does for fans.
Yeah. It's pointless. It doesn't matter. The only person it matters to is the shareholders, and it matters to the media rights because they're making money on it.
I think I would like to see. So take what I just said about the 2 to 3 games. Take out those first 2 to 3 games.
Yeah.
With the new kids, have a team that you every year match up with for 2 exhibition games. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. Exhibition games. So like say the Bruins and the Leafs. Every year at the start of the season, they have 2 exhibition games for their rookies. They just let them play. That way, and they can have contact and everything. That's fine too. Because if you're in the same routine with the same team every year, there's going to be rules between the 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a code that's established. So have that as kind of their warm up. They're going to be warming up against other rookies and other, prospects and
testing them out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once you've had those 2, then go into your 3-game preseason with the pros, with whoever you thought performed well in the exhibition games.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, there's always a lot of young guys around. There's guys in the minors that you can bring up, to sort of, supplement the slots that you can't fill with new guys. So, I mean, I like that. I like that idea.
And I think to take it even one step farther, I know that the exhibition games are usually divisional only anyways. Cut it down to the same three teams.
Yeah.
So like for example, the Blues would play the Wild, the Stars, and the Blackhawks.
Mhm.
That's the three teams they play.
Yeah.
Every year. And then their exhibition games, we could play like Nashville.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So give them a little bit of the taste of the league but have the code established for the future.
I like that. I like that. I know we just mentioned the Bruins, uh, and I want to get off of one ranting topic onto another
On to the next one.
ranting topic. Jeremy Swayman. Oh boy, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
I don't want to stay too long on this topic until maybe next week or the week after when something finally happens.
We'll have some news
But
next week, I have a feeling.
But this week I just want to touch on it. Man, that press conference with Cam Neely, man, that response from the Swayman camp. Oh boy. The Bruins bringing on another goalie. This is blowing up so fast. They made so many mistakes, and my boys in B Town are feeling it. They should not have traded Olmark as quick as they did. They made a mistake.
So we talked about this.
We did.
Earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically reached the conclusion of we don't really know what's going on until we see it on a paper.
No
but
kidding.
it kind of seems like someone's lying somewhere.
Somebody is lying somewhere. The Neely, I have 64 million reasons, and then Swayman's camp saying you weren't even close to that number. Who's telling the truth?
I have changed my stance.
Okay.
So Swayman was offered 62 million. That's the number.
The reported number from
right
camp.
from multiple people from Swayman's side was 8 times however that figures out to be 7.8
Right.
or something like that. Whatever that figures out to be.
Right.
I think that the 64 million reasons is him taking this publicly,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a new offer.
Hmm.
I think he's playing this publicly now because it's
Interesting.
gotten so much attention. He wants to swing it in the favor of the Bruins and swing it away from Swayman.
Yeah.
Which it's not that there's bad blood necessarily between them on this.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever has the attention right now, the other camp is painted to be the bad guy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But there's not a bad guy in this situation. It's just a lot of media drama.
Agreed. Yeah. The fans are blowing this out of proportion more than anybody.
Right, exactly. And it is very dramatic, but the fans definitely are taking this from 10 to 15 for no reason whatsoever.
I agree.
But I think that 64 million is a new offer. That is why nobody's lying, because they hadn't received that offer until then. But they were offering that in that moment.
Interesting.
I have heard. So the 9.5 that Swayman initially wanted is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard he has budged from that minimally. The Bruins, obviously, they offered him the 6.5 or whatever it was. That was like a 4 times 6.5.
Yeah.
I heard they also offered him the 8 times 6.5 when he said no to the 4. That's how they settled on the 8 years.
Yeah.
They have since obviously came up from that now that they're potentially, this is an 8 times 8 offer.
Mm-hmm.
That is still a long distance.
It is
8 to 9.5, less than 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
I do think though that this kind of blowing up and yes, Swayman may be asking for a trade if that's what they decide, blah blah blah. They're taking a couple days away. I think the couple of days they're taking away is because Swayman is a very emotional person. There's a lot of emotions involved from both sides in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a highly intense situation, obviously.
Right.
I think that's for those 24 to 48 hours is for both camps to kind of cool off and come back around to this. Swayman has said that he wants to be a Bruin.
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to leave.
And
he wants to be
like I said, I don't think there's any bad blood. And I think once this deal inevitably does get done, clean slate. It has to be a clean slate from going forward. You can't hold this against anybody anymore, either side. Like I know Swayman held the beef from arbitration last year, and he's applying that to this situation. Okay, you got your payback.
Right.
Let it go.
Right.
Now, water under the bridge all the way across. So I'm actually on the side of the Bruins now.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I still want Swayman to get as much money as he deserves and as he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think the Bruins are coming at this at a very logistical way, and the comparison is there. He's been compared basically to UC Saros.
Yeah.
However, UC Saros has had 50% more games than him, roughly.
Yeah.
But the same stats, and Saros has a Vezina.
Right.
But he got that after the amount of games that Swayman has currently played.
And I don't want to cut you off, but like I don't want to linger on this topic for too long. Just because like we'll jump into the whole meat and potatoes once this deal is signed and the Bruins land him or trade him, whatever is ended up decided upon. He's got 2 years left on his contract, and I just want to let it play out a little more before we jump onto the trains of like what's coming down the pipeline for the Bruins, for Swayman, for anybody out in there in the league that ends up landing him. So
I will ask you one more question.
Yep.
And I know this is going to be hard for you to answer.
Okay.
And we don't have to go into it, just a simple answer. If Swayman gets traded, where does he land?
Oh.
Don't even worry about cap or anything. Just where does he land?
Man, that's a hard question. Any other season, I would have said Ottawa.
Right, but now they have Omar.
Now
so
they have
that
Omar.
doesn't matter anymore.
Ooh, man. Ooh. What team could use a goalie right now? Seattle? Kraken?
He's okay. I can't think of his
Kraken?
name, but he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, but is he better than Swayman?
I don't know.
There you go. I think Seattle Kraken, probably.
All right. Are you ready for my answer?
Yeah.
Detroit.
Okay. I can see it.
It's pretty much all they need.
I can see it. I would struggle to see an in-conference trade. I don't think the Bruins would do that for him.
Obviously, they're going to have to give up a lot regardless, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to it's going to be a player going the other way because they have to make the cap space for it somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know who that player would be. It'd probably be more than one, but
with that said, with that on our minds, I think it's time for the Pacific preview, Mr. Pop Tart. The
final one.
The final one before the regular season begins. Actually, I think the regular season.
I have to start on this one.
That's
what I promised last week.
After next episode drops, I can't remember when the regular season actually begins.
The regular season starts on Tuesday.
Tuesday the 8th. Okay, so this will be.
It officially starts tomorrow, technically,
with the global series. Yeah.
Right. But the rest of the teams start on the 8th.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, you want to lead us off, Mr. Pop?
All right. Yeah, I will gladly. So this is like the weirdest division, I feel like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's there's a couple good teams, there's a couple really bad teams, and then like everybody else in the middle.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like the other ones, it was like you were either good or you're bad.
Yeah.
So number 8, this is a tough start right off the bat. I actually think it is going to be the Anaheim Ducks. That kind of hurts me a little bit to say because I kind of wanted the Ducks to be really good this year because have you seen those jerseys?
So good.
I love them. I love that orange. I think it's awesome. And the old school logo, oh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not here to talk about the jerseys. But I have the Ducks at 8. I think, yes, they're there. They're getting there, right? I think every team that's at the bottom of this division is getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a couple more years, they're going to be there. And I think a lot of the middle teams that have started to fall slowly, yeah, they're going to be at the bottom soon. So there's going to be a big shakeup in this division in a couple, 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But until that time, I see the Ducks at 8. I see the Sharks at 7. I think the Sharks are going to be good this year. Okay. Watch them. But it's not going to be good enough to be competing, right, for a playoff spot in the slightest.
Right.
But definitely much improved over last year. At number 6, I have the Calgary Flames. I think there's still just a lot of questions there. I know they have, who's their goalie now?
In Calgary? Oh God.
Because Markstrom went to, is it Jake Allen? No, he's still in New Jersey.
Vladar or Cooley?
Cooley. It's Cooley.
Vladar's their backup, I think, right?
Yeah. So Cooley, I mean, he's okay. Definitely not, Markstrom that they just got rid of, but Markstrom obviously wasn't gelling there. But yeah, I think there's a lot for Calgary to kind of work on. It seems like they're still trying to find their identity and what they want to do with this team. So I think they'll be better than the Ducks and the Sharks, obviously, who are still kind of rebuilt in that rebuilding phase. Mm-hmm. But I don't foresee them being any better than that. Number 5 and 4, I can kind of see these flip-flopping a little bit. But for number 5, I'm actually gonna go with the Los Angeles Kings. I think this Doughty injury is going to hurt them right at the start of the season, and they're going to have a tough time coming up with momentum. Mm-hmm. It's another team that's kind of lacking a goaltender. That seems to be the theme of the Pacific, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's another team that's kind of lacking a goaltender. Kopitar's getting up there. Fiala's getting up there. This team is getting up there. And there's not a lot of youth coming in. There's a little bit, but not a lot. I think they're this is a make or break year for them. I think next year is when they start deciding whether they want to rebuild or retool. But this year is kind of a make or break year. Either you make it in and you go in the playoffs, or you lose to the Edmonton Oilers again in the first round. At number 4, like I said, these could flip back and forth. I have the Seattle Kraken. I think this is also a prove it year for them as well. They kind of came into the league and shocked everybody initially, and then have just been very stagnant since then. They need to pick it up. They're signing a lot of their key players long term, locking them up. It's time to go, Kraken. Mm-hmm. It's time to show us what you have. We know that you have the players that can compete. Going into number 3, I have the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, what can you say about it? They're going to be there. It's hard to say that they're not. It's just basically the same team every year with their magical amount of money and their magical success. Plus, that stadium is always rocking, so that's good for a solid amount of home wins right there. Number 2, I have the Canucks. I think they're going to drop out of first this year. They've lost quite a bit, have not added a ton, but I still think they're a very solid team, especially defensively on the defensive side of things. And if Demko is feeling good, he's gonna still steal games for him. I think even if he's feeling decent, he's still gonna be a high tier goalie. Even with that weird injury that's going on. And then that at the top, that puts me at the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, can you say that they're not going to win that division without, you know, how can you not say that? So McJesus, Draisaitl, I think Skinner's going to have a great year in net this year. I mean, I could just keep listing players on their team, but we're not here for that. So it's hard to argue. Like I said, that's not a very deep analysis of this division this week, because like I said, it's a very like strange division.
It is.
And honestly, I can see a lot of these just shifting around like one or two spots from where I listed them. But I think that's probably about where they're going to end up.
So our predictions for the Pacific isn't too different. A little same in some positions. I have San Jose sliding in at number 8. I think that they are a little bit of a stinker organization right now. The Sharks are not in a good spot. They've made some moves, but I don't think it's going to be enough really to, solidify themselves as anything but bringing up the rear. Anaheim, I have sliding in at number 7. I just want to see them do good. I love their jerseys, all of their logo.
I love that. I love those jerseys.
Don't love their team, but I think that, they're going to slide in just ahead of San Jose, somewhere around 50 points again. Calgary, I have them sliding in at number 6. I think that, kind of a step back year a little bit. Maybe they can retool. They can start to reposition themselves for maybe a push next year or even the following year. But I don't think this year they're going to be really anything special. I tend to agree with you at number 5. I think that Drew Doughty being injured, Kopitar being old, not having the right goaltender, maybe their defense is struggling. I think that they're not going to do well this year. I have the Kings at number 5. Number 4, I also agree with you. This is kind of a step up year for Seattle. Either step up or step down, get to the bottom of the division. Make your choice. What are you going to be? What are you going to do? What are you about to evolve or devolve into? And I think that this is going to be a very much prove it year in Seattle. And, for the fans too. They want to see wins. They have a kick-ass logo. They have a kick-ass name. They got a kick-ass team.
Stupid-ass mascot.
And stupid-ass mascot, but we love them anyway. And, with the Utah Yeti coming at us next year, being the newest team, air quotes, all around, I think they need to kind of prove themselves, because we saw what the Vegas Golden Knights did in their, first few years of life. Absolutely lit up the league, and they're still at the top, and not to say that the Golden Knights are next, because they're not. I have Vancouver at 3. I think that this is 1, 2, 3, pick 'em. I don't know who's going to take it. Well, sort of. I think that one is
within reason.
One is lock within reason, but like 2 and 3, I think it's a pick 'em, between Vancouver and Vegas. I think the Golden Knights and the Canucks are both going to be really, really good this year. I think that they're both going to have solid seasons, but I think that Vancouver, probably 3, Vegas, probably 2, Edmonton, I'm not going to blab your ears off about players, definitely going to be your 1 seed going into the playoff side of the Pacific Division. But that leads us into the next guest, Mr. Pop-Tart, President Trophy winners.
I'm actually I'm gonna let you go first, because this is gonna lead into something else for me.
My President Trophy winner of this season of 2024-2025 is going to be, drumroll, the Dallas Stars.
Wow, all right.
So I'm actually quite interested in seeing what Dallas can do. I think that they are a very good team. I think that they've added quite a bit this year. I think that, despite Florida and the New York Rangers in my predictions, and the Edmonton Oilers are going to be outshined just a little bit, I think it's going to be a very close race, as these sort of last few years have been very close. The Rangers only won it by 1 point last season. They had 114. The Stars were at 113. The Panthers were at 110. Vancouver was at 109. Like, it's right there.
It's very close.
It's right
Yes.
there. So I think that we're going to continue to see a right there chase, but I think Dallas is going to get it this year, despite not getting it last year.
Yeah, honestly, this is tough. So you had Dallas, the Rangers, Florida, and Edmonton to pick
Correct.
between. That's tough as it is. I'm looking at my 4 options of Dallas, New Jersey, Toronto, and Edmonton, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, who am I supposed to pick out of this? My initial thought when seeing Dallas at the end of last year towards the playoffs is this team is going to be unstoppable next year. Mm-hmm. And I still think that they're definitely going to take the Central in a chokehold.
I think so.
In a very good Central division too.
Strong division.
So I definitely think I don't disagree with your pick, but they're not my pick.
Sure.
Because I have to segue into my on heater hot take of the week is that the President's Trophy winner this year will break the cycle and win the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
Which has not been done since the shortened lockout season by the Chicago Blackhawks. And if you're not going to count the lockout season, has not been done since the 2007-2008 season by the Detroit Red Wings. That's, what, 17 years?
Just about.
Yeah. Since the Red Wings?
Yeah.
And 12 years since the Blackhawks? I guess this is going to just put me right into it. And you're not going to like this.
Don't you dare.
I have the Maple Leafs winning the President's Trophy and the Cup. And I know that the Toronto fans that may listen to this podcast are going to go nuts.
Oh my God.
But like I said in the divisional preview for the Atlantic, it's time.
That's insane.
Toronto is done screwing around. They're going to figure it out. They're going to win the President's Trophy because they're such a good regular season team. Even though I think that Berube is going to kind of pull them back a little bit and prepare them for the playoffs during the season.
Yeah.
He's going to teach them how to be a playoff team during the season. So they might not start off the greatest, but come the second half of the season, it's going to be next level with them. And I think once they get into those playoffs, they're going to be so used to that play style of the playoffs that they're just going to mop the floor. And the Bruins better hope they don't run into them and break the streak.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I do have to say, if I had another competitor for the President's Trophy, Dallas is going to be right there. New Jersey's going to be right there, probably in a third kind of position. I think Edmonton probably finishes last out of my 4 in the race. But yeah, I got the Maple laughs, as you like to say.
Okay, interesting. I like that. Honestly, hot take. Ooh, spicy.
It's kind of 2 hot takes in one.
Casual take, Kiwi. Casual take.
Casual, yeah, casual. Very casual.
Very casual.
I don't want to see the Cup go back to Canada, but I think it's gonna.
Anyway, nice hot take. I like it. So, time for our on a heater sports bet. Not brought to you by DraftKings, but on DraftKings. I have 2 bets this week. I have both on DraftKings, a parlay. A 4-part parlay on this first one. It is Simply 60, which is at plus 1163, hilariously enough. Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, and DeAndre Swift all rush for 60 plus yards Now each, not together. Yeah,
Together? If that was together,
oh,
you put down your entire life savings on that.
yeah, absolutely. No, it's each. So
Not really, though.
each of them, that's it's a pretty good bet. I mean, they're all pretty great rushers in their own right. They all get pretty consistent, yards, all get consistent rushes. So I think that, this might be not a bad bet. I think the hardest one out of the group is probably DeAndre Swift or
Thank
Aaron
you.
Jones. If you're gonna bet, so bet lightly, maybe $10 on a no sweat if it's available.
And
But
if you're really not sure on one, you can always take that off of the parlay and it becomes a custom parlay. Yeah, the odds aren't as good, but
take it as you will. But I think overall, I think it's a pretty good bet. I put down $5 on it. Again, we're not advisors. We're not liable for any money you win or lose. Don't blame us.
Risk.
At your own risk there, buddy boy. But my second bet here, Kiwi, is for the
I like
NHL,
this one.
the NHL Global Series. Pucks on net. All of these guys that I'm about to list to you were the shot leaders in their team last year. Jack Hughes, over 3.5 shots a game. Jesper Bratt, over 2.5 shots in the game. Tage Thompson, over 3.5 shots in the game. And Rasmus Dahlin, over 2.5 shots in the game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the way that this is phrased. Is this total shots, overshots for both games combined or each game?
I think this is just for the first game. I'm not sure if it's just for game 1 or game 2. I gotta go back and read it. But at plus 850, it seemed like it was just for the first.
Seems like
game.
It's a one game situation.
A one game situation, yeah.
I feel like it would be a little lower if it was both.
If
combined.
it was both games combined, I'd be.
If Jack Hughes didn't get 4 shots on goal in between 2 games,
yeah,
I'm taking the Devils out of my first place spot.
Exactly.
In the Metro.
I think Jack Hughes and Tage Thompson locks for this guess, for this bet. Jesper Bratt and Rasmus Dahlin, I think those are going to be your outliers, but 2.5 shots on goal. All right.
I think Jesper Bratt's definitely your outlier. I think Dahlin gets that no problem.
Okay.
Also.
Yeah.
Buffalo has a crazy group of guys just all kind of chipping in together.
That's true.
Which brings me to my 3 bets that has nothing to do with Buffalo or New Jersey. I picked 3 this week because I took a couple money lines here and there. So my first one, I took the Minnesota Lynx over the Connecticut Sun on, I believe that's Friday's game.
I believe so.
Maybe Saturday. Friday. I think it's Friday, though. Friday's game. Plus 114. I took the Blues over the Kraken, which I believe is Tuesday's opener, for plus 110. And I took the Colts over the Jags this Sunday at plus 124.
Honestly, not bad bets. Not bad bets at all. I could see, the Blues Kraken. That's
the spicy one.
Little iffy. Minnesota Lynx to over the Connecticut Sun. I think that one is going to be kind of a gimme right now, but I think the Lynx are going to run away their lunch money, so I think you can take that safe bet. Colts over Jags. I think the Jags suck. I think the Jags absolutely suck. I think Joe Flacco is a great vet, and I think he's going to carry that Colts team over the Jags. No diff.
Wait, why would he be playing for the Colts?
Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
He's their quarterback.
What's wrong with Richardson?
Isn't he still injured?
No. He played last week.
Is he back? I thought he was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played last week.
I thought that
I didn't. I think it was a interweek injury. It was just minor. I might be crazy. Either way, both of them are better than freaking Trevor Lawrence.
That's true. That's true. No, they are. Let me just. I don't
know. Either way, take the Colts over the Jags because Trevor Lawrence sucks nuts. Sorry, Jags fans, but not really. Get a different quarterback.
No kidding.
Maybe Andy Dalton. Oh, trade for Bryce Young. There you go. There's your quarterback.
Honestly, that's not bad. Flacco did play last week against the Steelers.
Okay. Well, I think Richardson's supposed to start this week.
Yeah,
I think it was just a minor injury, anyways.
He did play. He 3 out of 4 attempts, 71 yards.
Okay, so they were probably just kind of like testing the waters with him a little bit, seeing if he was feeling good enough to go.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm taking the Colts over the Jags because Trevor Lawrence blows chunks all over the field. Call him the Jacksonville Will Levis.
It's not a bad comp. Not a bad comp right now. Somebody's screaming right now. Trevor Lawrence. Take that as you will. Take that to the bank.
And suck it. But I think that's going to do it for us today.
Yeah.
Hope everybody enjoyed.
So be sure, check us out. Like always, I know this is a little bit of a longer episode, but, check us out. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Prime, Podcasts, wherever you might watch, listen. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe where applicable.
And obviously, don't forget about TikTok and a Twitter X as well. Keep up with us there. Yep. A little bit of slow on the TikTok lately.
Yeah.
NHL 25 got in our way. Let's be honest.
It's true.
But hope everybody enjoys your weekend. Enjoy some WNBA. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the NHL being back, baby. So excited for that. And enjoy your weekend football. I saw, actually, real quick side note. Did you see that starting today through, I think, the day before, the day after Thanksgiving or whatever, it is 55 consecutive days of either college football or NFL football.
That's amazing, and I love that. But
anyway, welcome to football season, gamers.
We're done rambling. Be free.
See ya.